All right, bottom of the hour, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, MMA is going to move to the forefront for a few moments. I get to talk to potentially, I believe, one of the most beautiful fighters in the world. Her name is Miesha Tate, and she was defeated by Ronda Rousey in a recent bout in which she refused to tap out, even though almost every muscle in her arm was ripped and shredded from the bone. It was unbelievable to watch. And how tough is Miesha Tate? We'll find out. She's in town making an appearance tonight at Cage Sports Fights down at Emerald Queen Casino. So I'll remind everyone about the fights here at Swinomish Casino next Saturday. And if you happen to be in the neighborhood of the Emerald Queen Casino tonight, there are a few tickets remaining for the Cage Sport event down there as well. As always, I support MMA fights all over the place and won't stop from doing that. So we'll talk MMA fights a little bit. And then I want to close the show with some thoughts and observations on not-so-happy Valley, Penn State. A team that I grew up in the shadow of and went to many games as a kid and a lifelong Penn State fan. And it's a weird set of circumstances that has me feeling funny about my favorite college football team. It's 2:30. I'm the Fish right here on Sports Radio KJR 950 AM and 102.9 FM.
Now back to Sports Saturday, live from the Swinomish Casino. Here's the Fish, Jeff Aaron, on Sports Radio KJR 950 AM and 102.9 FM.
We are live at the Swinomish Casino and Lodge. Today we're next Saturday night. It's Battle at the Bay. Some great MMA fights brought to you by Combat Sports. I'll be the ring announcer and be involved, and looking forward to the fights. Tickets on sale now at SwinomishCasinoandLodge.com. And Randy Couture will be here on Wednesday for a dinner and raffle event brought to you by Skagit Valley Kidney Center. I'll be hanging out with Randy Couture that day. UFC legend, $45 per person, cocktail hour at 5, dinner at 6. And another MMA legend is in town today, making a personal appearance down at the Cage Sports Fights at Emerald Queen Casino tonight with a good fight card down there featuring 10 fights. But the main event of the evening is the appearance of Miesha Tate, who joins us right now, the beautiful and talented MMA fighter. How are you, Miesha?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We're doing absolutely fantastic. Had an opportunity to do a little TV work with you at one of the events out at Snoqualmie Casino, and we were talking about your lead-in to the fight with Ronda Rousey. And that fight I watched and could not even look at the screen as I watched your arm in an arm bar be twisted more than any human arm I've ever seen. And there was so much secret over whether you were really injured or not. What is the fallout of an impressive fight, but one you fell short in, and I'm sure you're going to bounce back. But how are you feeling, and how's your arm? I think on her cell phone it dropped out. Well, for those of you that follow Miesha's career, Miesha was in a fight with Ronda Rousey. It was a high strike force fight on national TV, and Miesha lost that fight, but showed more toughness than I think any fighter I've ever seen. Her arm was twisted and bent horribly, but she was so tough, and she refused to tap out. The fight was called, and she will bounce back. She's fighting again coming up later in the year, and I'll give you details of that fight in a moment. We'll see if she's back. Okay, we got Miesha back real quick, so we'll welcome Miesha. Are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay, real quick, how's the arm?
It's good. I fully rehabilitated it, got full range of motion back. You know, I did some soft tissue damage, but the doctors and everybody are really excited to see that my progress has been so good, and I've been fully cleared medically, and I'm looking to fight August 18th, which also happens to be my birthday.
You get to fight on your birthday. That should be a harbinger for good luck, shouldn't it? You're fighting Julie Kedzie. What do we know about Julie?
She's a veteran of the sport. She's been fighting for a long time. She's got a lot of experience under her belt, and she's one tough cookie.
One tough cookie. I know you're very competitive. We've talked a few times, and I know it was probably a tough loss for you to absorb against Ronda, who now fights Sarah Kaufman. Who's going to win that fight? You fought both those gals. They're fighting on that same night. What's the date of that fight?
That's August 18th.
August 18th. Who wins that fight? And I know you'd like to get a rematch with either one of them. Who wins the Ronda Rousey Sarah Kaufman fight?
Well, I think Ronda has the edge just because, if you think about it this way, Kaufman's a striker, and she has to execute a perfect game plan for 25 minutes and then not being taken down and being able to pick Ronda apart, which, I mean, I'm not saying she can't do, but all it takes really, I think, is one takedown on Ronda's part. So Ronda can, afford to make more mistakes than I would say Sarah could, but again, Sarah has a lot of experience in the ring, and so I really don't know for sure But I would be happy fighting either one of those girls for the title. I'd like to be the first one to beat Ronda, to be honest. But I'd also love another shot at Kaufman. So I guess for me, it's a win-win.
All right, and as any fighter knows, one fight at a time. So a win over Julie Kedzie on August 18th could set you up for a potential rematch and moving up the chain there in the strike force. Now, you're making an appearance tonight down at Cageport, which you have fought a few times down at Emerald Queen Casino. So how cool is it for you to return there, making a personal appearance and hanging out and with Brian Hallquist and his gang down there at the Cagesport?
Oh, it's awesome. I love going to the Cagesport events because they put on just as quality of fights as you're going to find in the UFC, to be honest. It's always entertaining, and I love that they bring the women in. We're also having a women's fight tonight, Sally Kremdiak and little Patricia Vodonik, which is going to be a great one. I have a couple teammates fighting on there, and I'm also doing a guest appearance, which is also my hometown. I'm born and raised in Tacoma, and so I'm hoping to see, some friends and, people I went to high school with, and, just everyone there at the event enjoying some fights and taking pictures, and just going to have a good time.
Your much-publicized relationship with fellow fighter Brian Caraway, what's going on in his world right now?
He's preparing for his fight July 21st for the UFC. It's going to be live on FX. He's fighting Mitch Gagnon, who's a French-Canadian, got an 8-1 record, and it's supposed to be kind of an up-and-comer out of Canada. So it's going to be a really good fight. I think that his opponent is pretty much tailor-made for him. I think Brian's going to go out there and finish it in the first round, and I'm really looking forward to that. But make sure to watch him and support him. And he'll be there tonight as well. So if you catch him in the crowd or whatnot, make sure to say hello. And a local Washingtonian going up to Canada and going to represent. So
there we go.
Love.
Miesha Tate is with us. We'll be at Emerald Queen Casino tonight for the Cagesport event, and my buddy Brian Hallquist Productions there. Final question, and I know you've been asked a billion times. I watched your fight with Ronda with great interest, but I couldn't even, when they showed the replay, I could not watch the arm. Did you purposely refuse to tap out, or because it looked like, I thought your arm was going to snap on live television, and you displayed an awful lot of toughness, but what was going through your mind at that time?
Well, there's a lot of things going through your mind at that time. A lot of things that the casual fan probably watching it on TV, it seems a lot different than when you're actually there live in the situation, For one, I'm a fighter at heart, and I never like to admit defeat. That's a really tough pill to swallow when you're going out there for battle. You don't want to give up ever, and I never want to give up. And so, I had a split second to make a decision, and when you're thinking about the difference in pay you're going to get, you have a title on the line, someone you really don't care for, and, the audience, the crowd, everything going through your mind, I didn't want to tap. So, I made that choice, but it all happens in, like I said, a split second. I knew when I had the opportunity to tap, and at that point I wasn't ready to give up. And so, I paid the price, and, I'm just really blessed that I didn't have to get surgery or anything like that, and I was really, like I said, diligent in recovering and doing all the physical therapy. That was a lot of work, almost more work than being in a full-on training camp, because I had to be very diligent and very careful not to permanently set myself back. But I'm doing good, and I'm looking forward to my next fight.
Well, I think it's because you're a stubborn Leo, because I'm an August 15th birthday, and I know that Leos are tougher than the rest of the human race, and you're included in that. Have fun tonight at your event, and great to visit you on the show. Good luck in your fight on August 18th against Julie Kedzie. We'll be watching, and I'll always appreciate the visits. Have fun tonight.
All right. Thanks. Bye, guys.
There he is, Miesha Tate. Not only is she a scrapper in the world of MMA, she's drop dead hot, too, by the way.